Hey there, this is Tim with an Elite Dangerous video. Starting off by showing you a series of images of the new Orbis station here. At the moment I'm on the dark side of the station. You can see that the sun is behind it, so this is what it looks like in the shade. And obviously with Elite Dangerous, if you come back here at a certain time of day, the sun will be in a different place, and you know, the station will be in a different place, and it'll look entirely different. And I'm just basically showing you the front end right now. You can see there's the central hub of the station is about the same size as the Coriolis ones that you've already seen, but they're surrounded by this big ring here, which if you look through the glass there, you can see it's actually a cityscape underneath there with gardens and everything. And perhaps there's actually going to be more detail in there, so you can see actual buildings. Right now though, I'm just seeing at least a kind of flat texture, even though I'm on full graphics settings. So moving on, behind the main hub and the circle around that, there's actually another circle attached to the back of it here, which apparently is a there's less gravity, there's less of a G-force in there. So basically it would be a place where people would retire to, because it's better for their internal organs to have less gravity affecting them. And then behind that you have, as is coming into shot right here, you have huge storage bins, which means that this particular station might be a really good place to go to for trading. And looking back from that area now towards the central hub, in the light from the star, I'm not really sure what these things that are currently covering up the sun are. I thought they might be something to generate electricity through solar power, but I didn't see any solar panels on them, and not sure what these are either. But Frontier are actually designing things with a function, so everything that you're seeing here will have some kind of function. Not entirely sure what those would be at this point. If you look really closely on some of these shots where the sun is behind me, you can actually see my ship's shadow as well. And here you see in the station in full sunlight. You'll notice ever so often there's a little bit of a kind of judder to the animation with the rotation of the station. I'm not entirely sure whether that might have been because this particular system was heavily loaded with players. This was obviously recorded the day that this version was released, and the animation isn't as smooth as I would expect. There you can see solar panels on the outer edges of the main hub, and the inside here looks like a standard station. You know, it's the same size and everything, but the lights at the back of the station that are just going to the left of frame there, those are actually switched on now. So as you can see, things look fairly normal in here. They have made graphical improvements, but the inside of this new Orbis station looks like the inside of the other stations. Okay, so that was the Orbis starport, and you know, now I'm inside the cockpit of the Sidewinder. First thing I'm going to do is take you through the UI changes, and you can already see on the main cockpit screen here that there's been some changes. To the left side you can see target information. You can see that I currently located around the Orbis star point, and that's probably going to be quite useful in a combat situation to just have a little bit of extra information there that should display. Now on the left side here with the contacts, you can see that the Orbis starport that I'm in is actually showing as white. That's new. I think before now it didn't show a color difference for the different types of targets. So let's go and look in the galaxy map now, and I'm currently in All-In, which is one of the new systems. It's a exotic world, lots of money, and just show you whereabouts. Obviously it's located within the same sphere of systems that we've been able to travel to. They've just expanded it a little bit. It's a high-tech system, and it's a Federation system. It's basically where a lot of people will go to retire. The planet that I'm actually orbiting right now is called Nirvana, and it's basically a rich guy's playground. That you know, there's kind of high value stuff here in a population of 750,000. And Styx is another new system that it actually says that there's no allegiance, no economy, no government, and no population. And I've heard rumours that there's actually some very interesting stuff there. I even heard mention of a pirate base being there. I'm not really sure how true that is yet. I haven't been able to go there, but that's one of the fantastic things about this huge open galaxy, is that you'll have little systems like this that look like nothing, and you do not know what's there. So the capacity to explore and find these things and everything is just fantastic. And one of the things that I remember from E3 when David Braben was talking was about the distance that stars are from the galactic plane. Now LHS 3006, which is another new system, it just has the one planet, and this planet is actually recovering from an interaction with another star. Basically, another star crashed into this planet star or something of that effect, and it's actually recovering. And the planet itself actually has a ring around it, and they actually think this was the case with Earth as well, where Earth at one point may have had a ring, and that is what formed our moon. You know, I like with all theories that we've not seen, it's kind of tough to know whether that's the truth or not. But anyway, this grid here, you can see that's the plane of the galaxy. That's where most of the dust is, most of the stars are, everything like that. And at E3, David Braben was talking about how certain stars will be further up or further down, and the sky, the stars, when you're actually in the cockpit of your ship, will look completely different if you're below the galaxy like this or above the plane. You know, so the sky might be more vibrant, it might be much brighter depending on, you know, where you are within the galaxy. And that is absolutely the coolest thing, to think that whatever location you're in, you're going to see pretty much whatever a real ship would see in that kind of area within our galaxy. So anyway, I'm currently in the All-In system, and let's see here. Just go through the rest of the UI. Now you can see the little circle next to my blue shield ring. That now has some color changes and things, you know, depending on what you're doing with the target. You know, if you're on target to do something, it'll change to blue, and you know, basic things like that. And over on the right, you can see there's local status clean, and then there's a notification that my landing gear is down, because you can see a blue icon next to it, and my cargo scoop is not down. So it's just very nice to be able to see that actively. They did reset the stats. As you can see, I have 0 kills. I think I ended just shy of 500, I think 470 or something, with the beta 1, and coming into beta 2, the only thing I've got to my name from the previous version is my bank balance, which sits at 53,000. I don't think there's been any other changes to the UI over there, and yeah, it's just really nice that you know, they're starting to give you all of these kind of visual aids that all kind of make sense. And going to launch now. I'm actually taking off from the new station. As you can see, quite a bit of player activity. Still not super busy. You know, I tried to record this when it wouldn't be super busy. And kind of screwing up my my exit here a little bit while I'm there we go. And one thing that you'll notice is that that there's a mass lock information above the scanner. That's really nice to have, so that you know when you can switch Supercruise on. And if you look at the landing gear light over on the right, once it goes off, you'll notice that my ship speeds up. Now, I've seen people complaining about it, saying, well, you know, it shouldn't be because of, you know, drag from a spaceship, because there's no air in space, and yada yada yada. That's not what's causing that. It's an electronic speed limitation. It's the same way that if you buy a car that has power steering, there are some cars where the electronics will not allow you to start the car if it detects that the power steering isn't working. You know, that's just a basic example, but it's for safety. You know, so when someone has their landing gear down, it's making the ship go slower. Now, what I'm showing you right now, if you look at the finger that's pressing the trigger, it's actually all animated now. Isn't that fantastic? You know, it's the little things that please. This is the throttle hand on the left here. Now, for some reason, Frontier think that all men in the 32nd century will be a little bit tubby. So if you don't like overweight men, you can now change your pilot gender to female. And I've done like a comparison here. Basically, you can see that the female is anatomically correct, but she also has a much smaller belly, it appears. So I don't know if Frontier think that everybody will be overweight or not, but anyway, that was a look at the pilot animations there. Now I'm showing you the changes to the UI over on the left side, where you can see the alignment to the target, which is blue because I'm on target, to where I'm super cruising to, the distance to the target, and the speed for the target. Now basically, when you get within a 1,000 kilometers, you'll see a bar which will move into the blue. When that gets into the blue, you need the bar on the speed to be within the blue as well. That's effectively it. You know, Supercruise works in the same way, but you now have more visual aids telling you exactly how it's working. Actually got interdicted here by an eagle, and it was a pirate, and you know, I just decided to fire on him. One thing that I've seen, not with myself, but watching other people's streams, you know, while I'm working. I work from home, so I have to stop myself playing games so that I can work. And I had a stream on one of my other monitors while I was working, and this guy noticed that one of the AI in previous versions, the AI would have always kept moving around and everything like that. Well, he stayed still, so the AI pilot didn't make any unnecessary moves, which I thought is really interesting. It seems like they've actually worked on the AI a little bit. So I kind of wanted to fire at this guy and, you know, just kind of see what happens. But this did actually get me a bounty and a wanted status. So, but anyway, one thing that you can see while I'm firing here, I've said in a previous video that it was really difficult to see exactly where your laser was going to hit, unless you had two lasers, and then you can obviously see them, you know, converging on a single point. But if you have one laser like I do right now, it was pretty difficult to see exactly where you were going to fire. And Frontier have added a X in the middle of the target reticule, so you can obviously target and you can see exactly what you're going to hit. So that's fantastic as well. It obviously proves that they're listening to whiners like me who mention stuff like that. Not that it would have bothered me if they didn't fix it, you know, I hope. But yeah, it's nice that that's there, and it actually makes combat in the really early rookie stages, like you would be in with a Sidewinder with a single pulse laser. You know, it makes those combat situations a lot nicer for the, you know, for the new guys. Because, you know, I don't know whether I've actually said this in the past, the full game is going to have an instant death. You know, you can choose to restart at the previous you know, point that it was saved, but if you do that, then you exit what's called hardcore mode. So basically, you know, you essentially give that up, and you know, you end up being able to load your last save game every time you die, but then you lose hardcore status and everything like that. Now, as stated, I now have a wanted status, and it's going to be a long time for me to get to the unidentified signal source that I was actually heading to. So, going to go to one of the new systems, which is LHS 3006. Just got to retract my my guns, find the relevant star, and engage the hyperdrive. Now, they did say that they've made some changes to the hyperdrive animation. I have difficulty kind of seeing them. If they've made changes, it's something that seems seamless to me, or didn't really affect me that much in the first place. But you can see now the small circle of the propulsion speed indicator. It was actually blue there, and that was to indicate that I was on target with whatever I was doing. So you know, it's nice they're putting in these little visual aids. That was a lot more seamless actually coming out by this star. So yeah, if that's what they changed, then that's probably the first time where I haven't had like a loading moment, you know, when I've jumped into a new system. So yeah, just finding somewhere to fly to now, and I'm actually going to go to a station which is orbiting Vulcan, and Vulcan was the ship that the planet that's still forming, so it's the planet which has a ring around it. and it's very, very close to this star, obviously. Just super cruising in. And you can see on the left side the the Supercruise notification. You can see the bar getting more and more left on the distance meter, and basically I'm bringing both of them left. And what you're supposed to do is essentially have both of those bars matched up. So it's a lot easier to do Supercruise now. And I really hope people don't continue to complain about it too much, because there's really no other way of doing this, and also all it does is really replaces the accelerated time that you had in the previous Elite games. Without Supercruise or something like that, I think you remove something from the gameplay. But anyway, if you look on the left side, you can see that I have the two lines pretty much matched up, and that's what I would be going for. Now this is Vulcan, which is obviously the planet that's reforming, and I think this looks awesome. I really, really do. And planets is actually an area that they have been working on, and what I'll do while I'm just checking out Vulcan here is actually slip in some footage of another planet so that you can actually see the clouds. There we go, you can see the clouds, and you can see a shadow layer underneath it, and the clouds will obviously move and form, and I think that's fantastic. And they have shown in previous videos someone flying through clouds, so when we eventually get planet landing, it's just awesome to think of all this stuff that they're bringing to us. But yeah, now back at Vulcan, going towards the station, still in Supercruise obviously. You can actually be going now, in previous versions you had to be going under 200 kilometers a second. Now I think you can be going under 500 kilometers a second. It did take a little bit of time here for it to exit Supercruise, but it worked eventually. And here I am at a station, and because I have a wanted status over on the right, you can see in the it says local status wanted. I need to dock as quickly as possible, so I have plenty of power to the engines, and I've figured out which side of the station the door is going to be on, and as I'm moving towards it here, I can see there's a bit of a firefight going on, so I try to request docking, and it says request denied, that I need to be closer. And obviously you can see that the station is white, which is great because you're not going to confuse it with a ship anymore. That was kind of annoying in previous versions. But you can see there's a firefight going on at the bottom right of the station. You can see there's laser beams flying everywhere, and there's some communications there from Bryant that I know is a pirate. So what's going on here? There's a pirate trying to attack a station. That's definitely the first time I've ever seen that. But anyway, I managed to request docking here, and can proceed to landing pad 1, and hopefully get in without a human player seeing my bounty and trying to take advantage of it. Okay, and there's landing pad 1 straight ahead of me. I'm still able to go full speed right now because I don't have my landing gear down, and I've just put it down. You can see the blue icon over on the right, and had a little bit of a glitch there. That's the first time I've ever had a glitch like that when coming into land, but the servers are pretty busy right now. I'm assuming that's what it is. Okay, successfully docked. And they did say that they've made a few graphical changes to the inside of the stations too. Obviously they've put the lights on that were straight ahead of me there, the big red lights. But they also said that they've made changes to the landing pads, and the large landing pad is actually what they said. The one that's straight where I'm looking there, that's the big one, and then there's a small one right next to it. It's the big one that they said that they had worked on. I have difficulty seeing the difference to previous versions because I don't remember what the previous version looked like. But I'm so happy with how this game looks. I really, really am. So anyway, let's go into station services, and the first thing I'm going to do is obviously clear my bounty, which cost me 300 credits. It was probably a 200 credit bounty, and you can see there's actually a hauler available. Now I just have enough money to buy this to show it to you, so I'll do that, and we'll be able to see how this cockpit looks and how the outside of it looks. I actually don't think the Are You Sure screen was there before. I think they've added that, which is nice. That's a large amount of money you're spending, and currently you lose your previous ship when you buy a new ship. They have said that at some point you will be able to store ships, so you'll be able to have more than one, but you'll only be able to fly one at a time. And here I am in the cockpit of the new hauler, just looking around, showing you as much of it as I possibly can. And I've heard various people say, it looks like the inside of a Mercedes. I kind of don't agree with that, but I've also had people saying that the outside looks like a transit van, and I completely agree with that. That's quite funny. But anyway, that's the cockpit. I'm going to go and show you a new feature on the stock market. Now previously I had issues trading. It's really not for me. There's too much memory involved for me to actually remember, so I'm just going to find something cheap that I can just show this to you, the change that they've made. So I actually just need to cancel because I'm not sure I meant to click on that there, but anyway, I have never wanted to trade because I did it in previous Elite games, and it was just kind of monotonous, and when I got somewhere I would never remember what I had bought something for. Now here I'm buying one unit for 20 credits. And so that's that transaction complete. But now when you take your stock somewhere, you'll see that there's actually a new line which says bought for 20 credits per item. So now when I go somewhere, I know exactly what I spent buying it, and I think that's fantastic. That really opens things up for me in terms of the game. And is trading a viable option for me now? Perhaps. I seriously would think about it now. So if you go to sell, you'll actually see in the grey box there, it now tells you exactly how much you're going to gain or lose for the transaction. I bought for 20, I'm selling for 18, and it tells me I have a loss of 2 credits on this transaction. That's awesome. That's really awesome, because I pictured trading in this game much like it was in the previous Elite games, where if I didn't have a pad or paper, I just lost money and lost money and lost money. Now because they've done this, trading is kind of a viable option for me now. So anyway, I'm going to go into the outfitting menu and show you the outside of this ship. You can't really see much on the gun area there, but when I move down to the utility mounts, you can see this isn't a ship that you're going to want to get into combat with. If you get interdicted going somewhere, you're kind of going to have to try to run away. It's just got a class 2 hardpoint, that's it. And there's the outside. I mean, I kind of think it looks like a transit van. It also looks a lot like the Puma or Puma, however you say it, that was in Elite 2. That's actually the ship I thought that they were bringing in, but they've decided to call it Hauler and not actually name it. Just going to put my phone on charge because it's actually going to run out while I'm talking here. There we go. So yeah, there's not really a lot that you can fit to this ship. It's a hauler, and you know, it has a decent cargo bay, obviously. You know, it's definitely not bad for 50,000 credits at this point, although you never know how much it's going to end up being in the final game. They've already changed the pricing once, so they might do it again. Now I'm just rebuying the free Sidewinder that you start off with, and I'll lose some credits because you don't get back what you paid when you sell a ship. But it was worth, you know, the loss to show the ship. Okay, there we go. Back in the cockpit of the Sidewinder, and oops, I now have 47,000 credits. So I think I lost about 5,000, 6,000 credits there to show that ship. And yeah, I have to say that things are looking pretty good. I really like what Frontier are doing. I like the changes that they've made. You know, this is a great build, and I'm really happy with it. I think something that I'll quickly do is actually read out the list of new features that they posted on their forum. They added a hauler ship, added a new station, 3 new systems, German language support, incremental installs, which means that the update should be smaller downloads, animated pilot, the stuff on the trading screen where you see what you sold for or bought for, customizable controls for the galaxy map, station lights turned on, hyperspace effect tweaks, Anaconda cockpit art improvements, Lakon 9 cockpit art improvements, audio tweaks for galaxy map, additional controllers, which I assume is profiles, cloud layers, the charging bar for the Supercruise hyperspace added to left panel, high resolution screen capture, which I think is really cool. You can actually capture screenshots at a higher resolution than you're actually running, which is awesome. Art improvements for large docking pads, Eagle cockpit art improvements, updated stars with hotspot colours. I'm not sure if that is something on the galaxy map or if that's something out in space, but I have noticed that stars look a lot better. They've added an aid to escape mass lock, which I have only seen a warning for because I tend not to get in a mass lock situation very often, because I know how to avoid it. Audio tweaks and balance pass, hyperspace arrive tweaks, which might actually be why I came into this system so quickly. They've added an animation to the opening of the star map, and I'll just show that to you now as it zooms into the current location there. Then they've updated trade goods. I'm not sure what that means. They've added the pilot gender option, which take that, Ubisoft. And screenshots are now saved in the pictures folder. And then they also mentioned that they added default descriptions for systems to the galaxy map. And if you look at this description here, it's a quiet, lawless system with little extraction activity. Population of 500, and what this basically is the procedurally generated information for these systems, or the manually generated information for these systems, the stats, what activity there is there. It automatically makes a small text description, which is fantastic. That basically automatically fills out all of that stuff for them, which is perfect. And then the other thing that they've done, they've added the bandwidth sort of debug, which you can see at the top left now. And I'll probably have that on in most of my videos now, because if someone from Frontier was watching one of my videos and something happened, then I want them to be able to see that. And that's it really. But there was a huge long list of bug fixes too that this is just the feature lists that they bothered to actually mention. I know that there's changes that have been made that they don't mention, because that happens with the software company I work for too. Like there's a lot of stuff that happens that isn't even mentioned, because either they don't put it in the when they make the change, they don't put it in as a comment, and then it doesn't get put in the release notes, and it's just one of those things. But still, there will be a lot of changes that aren't even documented. But even with that, there was a huge long list of bug fixes as well, and I'm really impressed with Frontier. So I think that if you're watching this and you're on the fence about backing Elite Dangerous, please be aware that it's not £100, it's not £150. You can pre-order the game for £35. The amounts that the beta access is directly relates to how much you had to back them on Kickstarter to be able to get beta access. That's it. So it's frustrating to see other crowdfunding things getting so much money when these guys are doing such an awesome job. So if you're on the fence, pre-order. If you can afford it, join the beta and start playing now. Get in there. Okay, thanks. Bye.